Good evening, good morning, good day, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Homie Picks. This is week 2 NFL season. Before we get into week 2, fellas, let's talk about week 1. Ben, you are the week 1 champ this year, coming in at a stellar 3-2.
Starting off hot.
Me at 1-4. Lou with the big sombrero
with the donuts.
I mean, it was a Krispy Kreme without the vaccine. So yeah, it happens, But last week, I want to explain this to everybody that's watching. A lot of the picks that or the picks that were last week, and I said it also in the comment section for it as well. We were picking point spread stuff. So you may have seen, like an example, like you'll see us say Kansas City. We all chose Kansas City. So you probably were like, well, how, if we chose Kansas City, why weren't we like given like the win for it? Well, like I said, we were doing point spreads, and KC in that instance was a 5.5 point favorite. They won by 4. So by the rules, that that 4-point win goes to Cleveland because they were plus 5.5. So that kind of gives you a little introduction to points to the point systems. Going forward, we are doing win and loss, so it's all money line bets and so forth. Makes it a lot easier for most people. We will talk a little bit about point spreads, but that's not what we're going to be picking on. If you have any questions about point spreads or how they work, you can definitely reach out in the chat. Me, Lou, Ben, we definitely will see it. We will respond and try to give you the best answer we possibly can. Because, like I said, even though this is for entertainment purposes, we still want you to be educated and well-versed on things. So that way, if you are put in a situation like you are in a state where you can actually bet on things, you're not limited to one thing, because you're going to see odds work a little bit differently for money line than it does for the point side. But like I said, nonetheless, entertainment purposes, Ben, I was really mad that you actually were right about the Raiders, but it happens.
It was their Super Bowl. Opening up the stadium. I knew they was gonna come out with their hair on fire.
I mean, look, they had Earth, Wind, and Fire singing. Doing the damn commercials. They had Gladys Knight making her own rendition to the Star Spangled Banner.
Yeah, that was interesting to say the least.
I mean, they damn near had almost every Vegas show going on just to say welcome to the desert. So I'm not gonna talk about other people's teams. I know all our teams right now are 0-1. But that doesn't mean too much right now, because starting tonight, somebody's team has a chance to go 1-1, and that person's team is Lewis's New York Giants versus the Washington football team. I cannot say that other name because that name does not mean anything now. The Giants are going into Washington. They are There are actually, in terms of the point spread, they are a -3. Money line, they are negative 190. Washington is. The Giants are plus 160. So an example like this, if you were to bet $100 on the Giants, you will win 160. Not so much if you do it on Washington. They're the favorite. So understand the negative and pluses. Negative also always means they're the underdog. It also means you're not going to win that money back. You have to bet 190 just to break even. But being that it's a custom here on the show, we don't let the person's favorite team, the person who has that favorite team, go first or second. They always go last as a courtesy. So Ben, how do you see this one coming out, man?
This one is a little tough for me. It's a little bit of a toss up. Daniel Jones still has his little fumbling issues. I do not trust their O line at all. That their O line is bad. And here comes Washington with a great front. So that really worries me for the Giants. I think Saquon might play, but if he does play, he might be limited. So I don't think he'll have that much of an impact. I don't know. I like Washington's defense. A little hot and cold with Heineke at the QB. Not sure if he's going to be able to put up points. The one thing that Daniel Jones can do is put up points, but they haven't shown it just yet. I'm going to lean Washington. I'll take Washington in this one.
Okay. I also look. I'll put it like this: the Denver Broncos sacrificed everybody to beat the Giants last week. As soon as that game was over, I think half their damn team went on IR. So, and I think, from what I understand, that was the first one they had in the month of September in 4 years, which is I didn't even know that. That was I know last year they were trash, but I didn't realize it's been 4 years.
I didn't know that either.
That was a really terrible stat to have. I'm glad they broke that.
Wow.
I mean, I'm sorry they broke that stat against your boys, Lou, but that's a crazy ass stat nonetheless. It's a tough one for me also. Saquon, I was glad to see him back. But you know, the Giants just have holes, and I just think against a better coach Washington team, I just think Washington just has that edge. I like what Daniel Jones can do. I know he can extend a play. I know he can, like, you know, he'll actually use his wheels if he needs to be. But sometimes just seeing how the Giants play at times can be frustrating, and I can imagine it's frustrating for actual fans. Because they have glimpses of like, okay, they could be nice, but then they just don't put it together. I just think Ron Rivera has a game plan for it. Heineke last year did come in and step up and was a decent for a little while. You know, he was a decent replacement. Funny enough, Ben was also right in our preview show when we were talking about the NFC East, how he was saying Fitzpatrick probably won't make it for a whole season fit healthy, because sure as shit he went out week 1. Now he's gonna be out for the next 8 weeks, but it's just that Washington defense. I think the defense is actually better than the Broncos defense, so that kind of speaks to that. I think Washington wins this one. Not as much as a blowout style as like Denver's, but I think they win it. Lou?
Yeah, I'm agree with you guys on this one. I'm taking Washington. My Giants haven't shown they can beat anything right now. You guys, like you said, Washington's defense, Chase Young is going to have a bounce back game where he got pretty much owned in that Chargers game. I think he's going to make Swiss cheese of the Giants O line. You know, we're down to O linemen. Ingram is out. Barkley's questionable. Until the Giants prove they can actually play football at a high level, I'm not putting any confidence in them. Yeah, they can score, but they're prone to fumbling, prone to interceptions, you know, prone to fuck ups in general. And our defense was just on the field way too long in that Denver game. I'm expecting the same thing now with our defense, you know, working majority of the game, and then, you know, Washington coming in and having snacks on our offense. So I'm definitely taking Washington in this one until the Giants prove otherwise.
Yeah. So see how that one goes. On to the team that Ben picked last week to beat my boys. They're coming into the black and gold, the black and yellow of the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers are the favorite. They're a 5.5 point favorite, negative 235. The Raiders are plus 194. So if you want to bet some money or entertainmentally, I don't know if that's a word, but I'm making it a word, entertainmentally. the Raiders would be your nice underdog pick. I'm leaning. All right. I'm gonna say Pittsburgh wins. I know the Raiders. I know the Raiders had a nice. There was this Super Bowl last week. It was a lot of energy, in that building, which I'm glad to see that building finally, show some life, because it was kind of tough seeing them play, at home, and they had no fans at all last year, even when people were starting to relax rules. So it was an emotional thing for them to be there and get that win over my boys. I would love for Pittsburgh to lose, just because I'm a Baltimore fan, but I gotta be realistic about it. Pittsburgh just seems to have it going the first 2 months of the year, it looks like. And that might be a recurring thing from last year, where they seem to have it going the first month or two, and then they start to tail off a little bit. And that's due in part to Roethlisberger's age and health. But Tomlin is still there, and he's still a really good coach. And I just think Pittsburgh is a better team overall than the Raiders. Do I want to see Waller and them, go for like 400 yards? Absolutely, but I just don't see it happening. So I think Pittsburgh wins. Lou?
I'm saying the other way on this one. I think Pittsburgh's defense saved them last week in a big, big way. Pittsburgh does have a really good defense. I don't see them repeating it. I think Baltimore has a way better defense than Pittsburgh collectively. I know Pittsburgh got some stars on there with TJ Watt and Joe Hayden out there, but I think the Raiders, if Waller has the same productivity, the same output, the same amount of targets, I think the Raiders can sneak this one in. Carr just has to manage it, no turnovers. And if he finds Waller and that opens up the field for everyone else underneath, they're going to have a really, really good game. This would be my underdog pick of the week right there. I would definitely like Las Vegas.
Ben?
Okay. Initially, I think I might have taken the Raiders, but I'm leaning on towards Pittsburgh on this one, just because Raiders come off this big high. Now they're traveling out east. Pittsburgh's defense is pretty good. If they can find a run game going, then they can get away with the short passes that Ben's doing right now. And then eventually maybe they'll get some stuff going over the top. But Pittsburgh's just well coached. They just find a way to win. You just can't count them out just yet. So I think Pittsburgh pulls this one off. It might be close, but I think Pittsburgh wins.
Yeah, and that's one of those games that's that we picked that can go either way. Offensively the Raiders are pretty good.
Yeah.
But you get a pretty good offense against a pretty good defense. Something has to give at some point.
Right.
Just like something had to give for one quarterback named Sam Darnold, because it was either the Jets or it was Sam Darnold, and Sam Darnold had a hell of a first game away from being a Jet. I ain't gonna front. I laughed. I think anybody who watched the preview show, my eyes lit up when Ben said Carolina would be the second best team in that division, the South. And he said we won eight wins, and I was like,
8 or 9
man
wins.
needs to be drug tested. I watched the preview show. It still holds true. Watch the preview show. I damn sure seen me be drug tested. He made me.
That was your futures pick. See, y'all missed it.
Darn like me look a damn fool right now. But they are. It is New Orleans, the Saints, versus the Carolina Panthers. Winston had a hell of a first week too. That was spectacular. I think everybody except Packer fans loved seeing that. But the Saints are the favorite. I think mainly because of that ass whooping they gave Green Bay. They are a 3.5 point favorite. they are negative 180. Carolina is plus 152. So even the odds makers say Carolina has a chance. And I think that might be the best odds of any underdog that we're going to give you this week. But who went first? Last. Luke.
Yeah. All right. Shout out to Jameis Winston. I think he had the best performance I've seen in a very long time for himself. 5 touchdowns against Green Bay's defense, with there no slouches over there. He carved them up. I'm expecting a little bit more of the same in Carolina. I think the Saints have way too many weapons. Alvin Kamara, the wide receivers they have, that they're not named Michael Thomas, which is crazy because he's out for another 5 weeks, and they put up the points that they did. I think Jameis Winston, he's found, found the youth. Like he's playing at a high level. Carolina's going to have a large output from McCaffrey, like they did against the Jets. I don't see them pulling out. This is not the Jets team that's trying to find their footing. The Saints team is poised to make a run at Tampa. I think they're trying to strike and make a name for themselves nice and early, and Carolina's just right in their way. So yeah, I'm taking the Saints on this one.
Ben?
Yeah, I like the Saints in this one too. I think what was very impressive about the Saints win was the defense. Their defense was just dominating. The front just pushed over the offensive line of Green Bay. Granted, their offensive line is not as good as it was last year, but still, like they just did anything they wanted to do. So I do not see Carolina being able to withstand that. I think the defense is going to feast and be probably a low-scoring game. I don't think Jameis is going to throw 5 touchdowns again, but we know he can put the points up, and Peyton does know how to draw it up in the offense. So I bank more on the Saints' offense and defense in this game.
So we're all on the Saints. Yeah. That I think this, and look, Green Bay's defense isn't the best. I think we all know Green Bay defense is the best. However, you're a pro team with one of the best quarterbacks, and y'all couldn't do anything. So
that was bad.
I definitely think that LASIK surgery that Jameis had last season, the only reason why we never saw it is because he had Drew Brees still in front of him.
Right.
Now this man is just time to shine. The man can see fully 2020. The man there, he might have 20/40 vision after that surgery. I don't know. He was seeing everything.
Let's see if it corrected his color blindness, because that's really the issue sometimes. He mixes up the colors. It's the wrong team.
So you know what? If the Panthers wear the black jerseys, they may fuck up a little bit, but I don't know.
Yeah.
5 touchdowns, no interceptions. I liked it. Yeah, I liked it last week.
I liked it. I loved it. I know the Saints did after that when they had a COVID thing, but only one player and the rest were like staffers. So it wasn't like it was like the entire team that got it, or the entire like starters or anything like that. But yeah, I think as good as Darnold was last week, Carolina also could have blew the game also at the same time. But the Saints just look powerful. Like they look like how you would have thought they looked years ago when Breeze was like in year 10, not in year 80. So I and again, the same thing they did last year. They were balling without Michael Thomas, and they're doing it. And even though it's obvious it's only 1 week, they seem that they have the next man up syndrome, and that next man always comes through. So yeah, I like the Saints as well in this one. But another team that kind of stepped up last week, and that was a shocker to me. That was Ben's first pick. That was his first correct pick. Dallas last week on the points, they held strong with Tampa Bay, who everybody think that's the consensus favorite to win the South, NFC South. But but they stood toe to toe with Brady and the boys. And sure had a hell of a showing Thursday night, but now they have the pretty good looking Chargers. The Chargers are the home team, and they are a 3.5 point favorite, negative 196. Dallas is plus 164. And I think that's doing part. I think that point spread and that total and the odds that they're giving Dallas on the money line is in part because they went toe to toe with Brady and the boys. If they was way to lay the goose egg up, I think that point spread and that money line spread would have been a lot bigger. But Ben, how do you see it?
I like LA in this one. I think the Chargers win this one. They just beat a really good Washington team defensive wise. Dallas cannot play defense. So I can see them getting carved up. And I believe the Marcus Lawrence or one of their linebackers rushers got hurt.
Yeah,
So he's out.
He's out.
Yeah, his foot. So he's out. So that makes the defense even worse. The Cowboys are going to put up points. There's going to be some points up in this game. It's definitely, if you want to play the over-under, definitely bet the over on this one. I feel there's going to be a lot of points in this game. The Chargers defense is sneaky good. They have a good pass rush. So I like the Chargers in this one.
Luke?
Yeah, this is one of those kind of get you the money lines right here. Cowboys are 164 underdog. It looks like an enticing bet. That's one of these bets that get you to pick the Cowboys. I'm not gonna fall sucker to that. Shout out to the Cowboys for playing amazing last week against Tampa. I don't think anyone expected Dak Prescott to do what he did on that first game. I sure hell didn't see it happening, but I think the Chargers are built much better. Justin Herbert, he's coming into his own. I mean, he got future MVP written all over him. Kid has swag. He has weapons. Yeah, I agree with Ben. I don't see Cowboys staying toe to toe with LA on this one. I'm about to see San Diego, but I don't see them staying toe to toe with LA on this one. So definitely going with the Chargers.
Trust me, I still say LA. I mean, I still say San Diego. I'm trying to retrain my brain to say LA because it's so hard. But yeah, it's a tough one. Honestly, it can go either way. I think Dallas offensively, they can do it. Dak is still a really good quarterback. But defensively, they have lapses, and I'm going to lean to the Chargers on this one. So we're all going to Chargers, because I think Dallas is high last week. I think for them that was their Super Bowl. The same way how people say about the Raiders and Baltimore, I think that was their Super Bowl, and it was because you went against the Super Bowl champions, and they showed that they can hold toe to toe with them, but. I think after that, that kind of explosion, they're going to revert back to regular, and the Chargers defense is going to hold them down. You have game tapes, so you know what Dak is going to do again. Because last year he was hurt a lot, so.
I still don't trust Dak 100% because a lot of his throws, I mean, even though it was a high scoring game, there were just a lot of short passes, and even some of them didn't have a lot of zip on them. So I don't think he can still make the tight window throws. So something to look at. Let's see how he throws the ball this time around.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But I mean, I think we'll probably see a better thing on week 3 because I don't see it happen in week 2. But I could be wrong. I have been. Last but not least, Monday Night Football.
Sunday night football.
Oh yeah, right. Sunday football. That's right.
Sunday night.
Football. My bad. It should be Monday night again because that Monday night game is terrible.
Trash.
Trash. But Sunday Night Football. I'm sorry, I'm thinking about last year when we were Monday Night Football against the same team. The Kansas City Chiefs coming off that tough win against Cleveland comes to Baltimore. So they've started off their season back-to-back AFC North opponents. But although the Ravens are the home team, the Chiefs are the favorite, a 3.5 points favorite, negative 200. Baltimore is plus 168. Who wants to start?
I'll take it. I think this is the game of the week. I love what Baltimore had going Monday night. It looked like they weren't missing a beat without running backs, starting the third string running back. But I think KC's just too good. And KC has put a whipping to Baltimore, the last couple of times they played them. I think KC wins the game. I think this game is bigger for Lamar as a whole. He needs to show that he can beat KC in order to play them later on in the playoffs. But I do see KC walking out of Baltimore with this win. I think that the Chiefs just proved last week. I think the Browns laid the groundwork for the blueprint. You have to score, but you can't stop scoring to beat the Chiefs. Like, you have a great half, and then you don't put up any points in the second half. You're just going to lose that track meet. So Baltimore has to score, but my problem with Baltimore is the turnover. Those two costly fumbles, one in regular time, one in overtime, cost them the game. And the Chiefs don't make mistakes. They do a great job of disguising their mistakes. So I'm taking the Chiefs handily in this one.
And
Ben?
I'm gonna have to agree with this one. Sorry, I don't think the Ravens are pulling this one out. I think they're gonna struggle a little bit. I don't know. I think right now the frustration is gonna get to Lamar and the team. I think they're gonna be competitive, but in the end, I think KC's just gonna pull out. It's gonna come down to last possessions, and I think KC gets it that way.
We're down to third string running backs and below. I think Marcus Peters' loss is pretty big. That showed last week. We still do have one of the best cornerbacks in the game, Marlon Humphrey. There was so many opportunities last week to get picks, and just to slow them down, because like I said before, if you get Carr coughing up the ball or throwing picks, he gets frustrated. He doesn't get in a rhythm. We held Waller for the first quarter and a half. He started getting hot after that. The problem is Tyreek Hill.
And Travis Kelce. Like, you got to deal with
Kelce.
two good tight ends back-to-back weeks. It's tough.
Yeah. Kelce is a monster, one of the best. Him, Kittle, my boy Mark Andrews. They're the top, they're elite tight ends in the game. But it's hard. That's a hard team to stop. Not even really stop, but slow down. Like, you can try to frustrate Mahomes and make him just run, but at the same time, he also has those luck plays where he can run out and find somebody open, and it's on point. It's accurate. For those reasons alone, I'm still going Baltimore. So it is why. Because we got our ass embarrassed last year on Monday Night Football. I mean, we damn near lost by 100 points. It was an embarrassment. It was demeaning. It was disgusting to see how badly we got beat by the Chiefs. A Super Bowl contending team, and we want to call ourselves a Super Bowl contending team as well. So to lose in that kind of fashion, I don't care what week it was still September. I don't care how early it was. I don't care how late it was. That was a terrible loss. And I think that embarrassment alone last year, that's not going to happen again. Now, we can probably lose, but if we're going to lose, we ain't going to get our ass beat like that. And I hope we're not going to get our ass beat like that again. I think Lamar plays better. I think it was something about just, week one jitters maybe that might have got him a little bit. And we're still adjusting to the team because, remember, we lost a lot of players. So we're still adjusting, trying to see what's going on and what works with certain people. I think this week, we got to, and this is going to be our Super Bowl. So I think the emotion for us, for Baltimore, is going to be there. especially if you have like bulletin board material, just holding up that score from last year. It's probably going to be enough for everybody who was there last year. We just got to keep pressure. That's the main thing in the game. You have to pressure and pressure and pressure. But also don't give up the deep ball because Tyreek Hill will cook you and roast you. Like Shaq said, it's barbecue chicken. So, you know,
my thing is, has no one gone and watched Super Bowl from last year? Like, it's readily available. Like, that was the blueprint. Like, I don't know what happened to Cleveland where they didn't follow that blueprint. So I'm hoping Baltimore, if you're watching this, follow that blueprint right there. Just follow that.
San Francisco showed the blueprint for that. Cleveland showed it. Tampa Bay showed it. You have evidence. Stick with it. And you have the capable players to do it. Like I said, we may be missing Marcus Peters. That's one of the best corners too. Like you may be missing him, but you have size, you have physicality. And you showed last week because I was talking to to Paul, shout out to the Niners and stuff, but he texted and say, oh, the Ravens they keep holding every play, and it's like, all right, whatever you want to say that, but we're playing physical. We're not playing that loose shit anymore. Right. So if you play physical enough, you can do something. You can't stop them. That's a hard thing to do, is stop them. But Tampa Bay stopped them. And maybe that was just the moment. But I think the Ravens get this one. And I'm going to go down with my ship. So, but watch tonight. Tonight is Washington Giants. Let's go, Big Blue for Lou. But we also got Washington. So anyway,
yes,
I'll see y'all next week.
Let's go, G-Man.
Week 3. Y'all have a good one. Enjoy the games tonight and Sunday, and don't care about Monday. Talk to y'all later.